Hello, welcome to another episode of In the Trenches with Gang Green. I'm your host, Bubbs, and today we are recapping a New York Jets W, the first win of the 2024 season as the New York Jets defeat the Tennessee Titans 24-17 on the road to even up their record at 1-1 before a short week Thursday night matchup at home, the home opener against the New England Patriots coming up here in just a couple of days. You got to be fired up if you're a New York Jets fan. Was it the prettiest win of all time? No. Was there definitely some ugly aspects? Are there things that still need to be worked on? Definitely, but a W is a W in the National Football League, and especially the position the New York Jets were in, needing to pick up a win that they against a team that they were better against before their home opener and after what was a really tough, frustrating, disappointing Monday night performance against the San Francisco 49ers. So we are breaking down all angles of this one today on the podcast. Appreciate all you joining me as always here on the post-game show. Make sure to please like and subscribe if you're tuning in on YouTube. And of course, appreciate all of you tuning in across all the different audio podcast platforms. As always, we'll start with a quick shout out to our sponsors with BetUS, America's favorite online sportsbook. Use my link in the description of this video to get a 125% sign-up bonus on your first three deposits up to $2,000. Also, our friends over at Huga House. Rodgers, big day today from A-Rod, continues to get better, continues to get healthier. If you want one of these special edition Aaron Rodgers 20th year Huga House hats, check it out. Link in the description. And at checkout, either of these hats, the black one or the green and white one, use my promo code BUBS for 15% off any purchase and get yourself one of these special edition New York Jets Aaron Rodgers Huga House 20th season hats. And of course, our friends over at SeatGeek, promo code BUBS on sports for $20 off your first purchase. If you haven't got tickets for the home opener, they're 1-1. That place is going to be rocking. If you haven't gotten tickets yet, head on over to SeatGeek, promo code BUBS on sports, $20 off, and get yourself out to the biggest air conditioner in the world, MetLife Stadium, on Thursday. All right, now let's get into today's game. A great win. And I will say this, right? It's a W's a W, right? It was ugly. There was definitely some frustrating parts. We'll get through the good. There was definitely some bad. There was definitely some ugly. There was definitely some things that need to be cleaned up, things that need to be fixed. We'll talk about that, but we'll talk about the positives first before we get to the negatives. And even unfortunately, too, the Jermaine Johnson injury, which is just devastating. You just feel for the player. Fear so far is that it's a torn Achilles. They will confirm tomorrow morning with an MRI, but the initial reaction that it's a torn Achilles is never a good thing. He was obviously in a lot of pain, had to get carted off. You could tell he was very emotional. Just awful to see him go down. Obviously awful for the player, a guy of his caliber, and of course a big hit too to this defensive line, which was already thin, now becomes even more thin. But you just got to hope and knock on wood that maybe the New York Jets do get lucky and they this isn't something major. But again, we will find out tomorrow morning on the MRI. But look, a W is a W, right? A win is a win. You go into this game, you're coming off the tough loss against the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football, right? A game that against the NFC champions, not a crazy, surprising loss. The way they lost, a little surprising, but the fact that they lost wasn't so much surprising. But you always circle this game on your calendar as the bounce back game, short week against the Titans team, especially after seeing what they did last week against the Bears. As a team, the New York Jets, if they want to be considered as one of the better teams in the NFL, if they want to be considered as a championship contender, a playoff team, they've got to win games like this against teams that are significantly worse than them and teams that they are significantly better than them specifically from a talent perspective. And that's what they did today. It wasn't all pretty, but a W is a W. The Jets needed to find a way to just get in the win column. As long as they avoided 0-2, I talked about it yesterday. While it was nice, would have been nice to get a 31-14 victory where you weren't sweating it out on the final 4th and goal play from Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans on offense. While it would have been nice to get a win like that, At the end of the day, the Jets didn't need a win with style points. There is no style points in the NFL. A win is a win. It's a hard to win in this league, and you could not possibly go into that home opener 0-2 going into Jacoby Brissett and the New England Patriots coming to town. You get a win. You're 1-1. Stadium rocking on Thursday. Look ahead now. Pick that win up. You got a couple days off, mini bye, and then you come back and get ready for Denver. Keep taking it week by week. And you look at this Jets team and they keep getting better. 1-1. You should beat New England 2-1. Don't want to look too far ahead, but just keep 1-0 each week. Short week coming up. You got the first one out of the way. Pressure's a little bit off now. And now you can play a little bit more freely. Offense continues to get better. Team continues to build more chemistry. They needed this one today. You got to be fired up if you're a Jet fan. Victory Monday tomorrow. Let's go. Now, as for the offense, and we'll start with some of the positives in this one, or really just break down the offense in general. Just kind of what we saw from the offense this afternoon. It was a little bit of a slow start for the offense again. I talked about in the game preview, we would like to see them get off to a fast start, but it was a little bit of a slow start for the offense. Really a slow start for the team as a whole. The New York Jets opened with a punt, another punt, then another punt. They opened with the first drive. Obviously, they got the first down, and then they ended up, after that, there was a penalty, intentional grounding on Rodgers. They had a punt. Next drive, 3 and out. Next drive, 3 and out. They're down 7-0. Offense isn't playing, or defense is struggling a little bit. They do get the fumble on Will Levis, though. Bad decision. Then they get the pick. So back-to-back plays, Levis turns the ball over, and then the Jets are able to connect on that one scoring drive to end the first quarter, where the New York Jets are able to get, the New York Jets are able to get in the second quarter. They're able to score 12 plays, 73 yards, 5 minutes, 5 seconds taken off the board there. And that was a very similar drive to what we saw last week for this Jets team, where you had that 12-play, 70-yard drive, converting on third down, Rodgers stepping up, making big plays, getting the ball out to Garrett Wilson, feeding his different receivers, spreading the ball around, and ultimately getting into the end zone. Of course, Rodgers then found Braylon Allen on a quick dump off for 12 yards in the touchdown. Jets obviously hit on the extra point. They tied the game 7-7 there. That was an awesome drive. And we have now seen moments from Aaron Rodgers, from this Jets team, where you see vintage Rodgers. You see those drives, those 11, those 12-play drives, 70-plus yards, converting on big third downs, getting into the red zone, and executing in the red zone. That is not something we could say much of last year for the New York Jets, was getting into the red zone and scoring in the red zone. They were able to do that often this afternoon. So you had that. Then you opened up the half, and a great start, right? You go out, 5 plays, 70 yards, finds Breece Hall, a beautiful, beautiful throw, beautiful grab, great pitch and catch, and they score there 14-10. And then, of course, you get a field goal, and then you get the touchdown at the end of it. So Rodgers finished the day 18 of 30, 176 yards, 5.9 yards per completion, 2 touchdowns, no picks, was sacked twice, 98.7 passer rating. He continues to get better. And now you look at his 2 games as a New York Jet. He has now thrown for 3 touchdowns in 2 games to just 1 interception. Still knocking off some rust, but you're continuing to see those vintage moments from Aaron Rodgers, those vintage drives. I mean, how awesome. When's the last time we could sit here and say the New York Jets tie game at 17 apiece with 8:41 to go in the fourth quarter, were able to construct a 7-play, 74-yard drive and finish it with a 20-yard rushing touchdown from the rookie Braylon Allen, who scores the game-winning touchdown. I mean, that was a beautiful drive. That was vintage Aaron Rodgers. Late in the game, fourth quarter, on the road, tough environment. I don't care. I want the ball in my hands. 7 plays, 70-plus yards. Boom, touchdown. Jets take the lead. handed off to the defense. And while the Titans made a move downfield, right, 13 plays, took a lot of time off, got into the red zone, got down to 4th and goal, they picked up the big stop. Rodgers continues to get better. And it's these plays. The play to Garrett Wilson on the 3rd and 2 was beautiful. Nice play by Garrett Wilson. Redirected his body. Was looking this way, turned around, redirected. Great catch by Garrett. Rodgers also had an excellent, excellent throw to Mike Williams. We talk about Mike Williams as a 50-50 jump ball guy. He turns those plays into 70-30, 80-20. We saw that this afternoon. Rodgers right off the snap, boom, looks Mike Williams' way. He jumps up, physical grab, one-on-one catch. Great throw, great grab. The Breece Hall touchdown was beautiful. Was awesome. And even the Braylon Allen touchdown, right? The throwing one. Quickly, right? Pocket kind of collapsing. Play looks like it's collapsing a little bit. Just finds Braylon Allen in front of him, lets him do the rest of the work. Overall, strong day from Rodgers. Is there still some things that need to be cleaned up offensively? Definitely, no doubt, right? I think if there was one thing you would like to see something better with the Jets is they have a lot of they need a little bit more urgency prior to the snap, and specifically in the second half. Early in the second half, you had the delay game. Jets have to burn a timeout early in the second half, and then they had also to burn another timeout late in the second half to avoid a delay game. That's on Rodgers. That's a lot of that's on Rodgers. I think he's just at times switching a little bit too much at the line, taking a little bit too much time, not having enough urgency. Those are things that'll get cleaned up. That's just rust. That's just, some of that it will get ironed out as the season goes on. But that's mainly it from a Rodgers perspective. I mean, other than that, we're watching Aaron freaking Rodgers. I mean, the plays this guy makes, and this is the scary part, is this offense hasn't even hit its groove yet. And the plays this guy makes in big spots. I mean, I keep going back to that final drive of the game. So many big throws, so many big moments, so many big spots, and having trust in his receivers as well. That 3rd and 2 play to Garrett, having trust in him to throw that ball up and know he's going to catch it and know he's going to make the play. Awesome stuff. Let's go, baby. 18-30, 176, 2 TDs. I mean, 24 points. We're watching a Hall of Fame quarterback. I still don't think it completely sinks in. There is still moments where it does not completely sink in when Rodgers makes these plays that he's our quarterback. There are seriously moments, it still has not sunk in yet. And I'm sure it will at some point. I've still kind of asked myself when it will sink in. At some point it will. I don't know if it's Thursday night when I see him run out of that tunnel again. But, you still as a Jet fan have to pinch yourself sometimes and say, man, this guy really is our quarterback. So that's Rodgers' passing game perspective. As for the run game, slow start, strong finish. And I think that's really the story for this entire game. The Jets started slow offensively. They started slow defensively, down 7-0 after, the first quarter. Down at the half, even though they were only down 3, and the offense started to pick up there late with the touchdown. They ended up getting the 2 turnovers at the end of the half, but they were still down at halftime, and then it picked up. And specifically Breece Hall. I thought Breece Hall early on struggled a little bit. Not so much him, more just the run blocking as a whole. They had that one 3rd down and 1 run play where I don't understand what they were doing. That they ran the draw. I don't know why they did that. Shotgun, give it to Breece. He got stuffed. I don't understand that. That's something I want to talk about here soon, because I want to get to the positives first because it is a W, but there is some things I would like, that we saw today. The Jets start to do some things for the run game that we wanted them to see do more Monday night. But Breece overall finished today strong. I mean, he had that one really big run, of course, the 30-yard run where he just broke 3 on the pitch and just went downfield down the sideline. 14 carries, 62 yards today from him. He also had the receiving touchdown as we talked about it. So that was really huge. And I mean, just an awesome grab. And we talked about that, like finding ways to get Breece Hall more involved in the passing game, setting it up, lining him outside as a receiver and letting him go deep. I mean, that He has that much talent. He's that much of a threat in the passing game and the receiving game. Get him the ball like that. Beautiful throw, beautiful grab. He finished the day on the ground, 14 carries, 62 yards. And Braylon Allen, what a day it was for him. What a day. And this is where I'll get to my one complaint about, I guess, Hackett early on in the offense. I don't know why early in the game, and even Monday night against San Francisco, and hopefully this is finally a wake-up call for Nate Hackett and the rest of this offensive coaching staff, that Braylon Allen is pretty freaking good. And Braylon Allen was drafted on this team for a reason. For 5 quarters, it was criminal. The New York Jets were not using Braylon Allen in any way, shape, or form. And I don't know what it was, what clicked. I don't know if it was the 3rd down and 1 shotgun run to Brees that got stuffed at the line of scrimmage. I don't know what it was, but something finally clicked in the mind of Nathaniel Hackett. Not a mind with a whole lot of football thoughts going on because he's that bad. But nonetheless, they figured something out and they started to feed Braylon Allen. They had him on that one run on 3rd down and run, picked up 3-4 yards. Like 7 carries, 33 yards. He had the touchdown, had the game-winning rushing touchdown. But he's a monster. His downhill running style is so present. It's awesome to see. And also in the receiving game, showed an under-the-radar ability with that one touchdown, that 12-yard touchdown reception, a little dump-off when Rodgers saw some pressure, pocket collapsing. I mean, what a day it was for Braylon Allen. It really was. Awesome, awesome day for him. Game-winning touchdown, 2 TDs total, 60 or 56 yards total, 9 touches, 2 TDs. What a day. What a day for Braylon Allen. Finally, they were using him. And that's something the Jets got to do more of. 3rd and 1, Braylon Allen. 3rd and 1, Braylon Allen. 4th and 1, 3rd and 2, Braylon Allen, Braylon Allen, Braylon Allen. Love Brees, but that's why Braylon Allen's here. He's a downhill physical runner. I don't understand why for 5 quarters they just didn't want to put him out there. It felt like it actually took Breece Hall getting banged up because Breece Hall got banged up. He actually went into the medical tent, came out. He, of course, was okay. But that's what it took for them to get Braylon Allen in the game because then Allen had to come in and Breece was off for that one drive. So that's what it took. But finally it opens the eyes of Hackett. You know what it feels like for 5 quarters, the Braylon Allen stuff? It feels like Breece Hall last year when Hackett didn't know he was much of a threat in the passing game. Remember, it took him 8 weeks or whatever up until that Giant game to realize that. That's what it feels like now. It took Hackett 5 quarters to realize, Braylon Allen, this guy's pretty good. So what a day it was for him. Jets finished with 101 rushing yards, 4.2 yards per carry. Much better week, of course, than last week. Good receivers. Early on, Garrett Wilson, not a whole lot involvement, but got better as the day got on. Ended with 4 receptions, 57 yards. I think most would agree. Rodgers, Garrett, both of them would agree. Like to see him get the ball more. That'll happen. I think just naturally the slow start kind of took away a big day for Garrett. But had a couple really nice grabs. The highlight was, of course, that 26-yard grab on 3rd down and 2, where he adjusted and made a really nice play on the ball. Brees, of course, had 7 receptions, touchdown. Allen, 2 receptions, touchdown. Mike Williams had the reception for 19 yards. That was a nice grab. Lazard had 2 catches. One of them came on a big, I believe it was a 3rd down, or maybe it was a second. It might have been 3rd down. Big grab by Lazard. Rodgers, quick throw. Saw a mismatch, quick throw, got Lazard across the middle. And I liked how the Jets spread the ball a lot more. I mean, last week I talked about it. They got 8 guys. They had 5 playmakers involved last week, 2 receivers. This week, they targeted Garrett, Mike Williams, Alan Lazard, Malachi Corley. Corley got the 1 catch on 3rd and forever. So, I will say this. Ruckert, from a tight end perspective, Conklin only 1 grab. Still, you would still like to see the tight ends get a little bit more involved here. No doubt. Ruckert, there should have been another touchdown. Ruckert, for some reason, stopped the play. He kind of stopped, corner of the end zone, stopped running and laid out for it. If he kept running, if he kept going with his route, it would have been a touchdown grab. The Jets would have scored. Instead, they settled. I believe that was a field goal they ended up settling for. But, I think, you see him a little bit more Mike Williams today, finally getting, him in the catch column. Lazard, a couple nice grabs. Garrett Wilson, of course, the big highlight grab. Found ways to get it done. It was really headlined by, Garrett, a couple big plays, and Brees really headlined by, Brees and stuff like that. Not crazy impressive day from a receiving perspective, but good enough. I will say this, the second down and 20 run play, I didn't totally get either, but don't want to get too down on that. Either way, offense, slow start, strong finish. They continue to kind of swing in the groove here as they pick up a W here. Now, you move to the defensive side of the football, same story. Rough start, strong finish. And you're sitting there as a Jet fan early in this game. And I don't know if I want to say I was panicking, but you really start to you really start to get worried early in this game when you have, all right, so you first drive, right? You force a punt. Good first drive. Will Levis was sacked. Will McDonald got to him. Good solid first drive. 3 and out. Good. Got some pressure, all that. Then they go down and have that touchdown drive. 9 plays, 68 yards. And then prior to the Will Levis fumble, they have a 10-play, 72-yard drive going where they get inside the Jets' 10, and Will Levis ends up fumbling. Inside the Jets' 10. So there was a point there when they scored, it was 7-0. Jets ended up going 3 and out. Titans got the ball back. They're driving. And before Will Levis fumbles, you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, we're about to be down 20. We're about to be down 14-0 to the Tennessee Titans and Will Levis. I mean, this is ridiculous. That's how bad it was early on. And you're thinking to yourself, this is brutal. I mean, honestly, I was sitting there in disbelief. Like, I don't know what they're going to do. They can't stop anything right now. If I was out there, I could find a way. Pollard, Levis, whatever. They were making plays. They were marching. Then Levis fumbles, and it seemed like from there on out, the tide just turned. Will Levis has that brutal fumble, that stupid decision. Play was over. He tries to pitch it out. Jets recover it. Quincy Williams jumps on it. Then they got the pick. Brandon Echols. What a play by him. Just a crazy interception. Not a great throw by Levis. Probably not the best decision, but what a grab it was by Echols. And then after that, like, the Jets defense just kind of snapped into gear. They allowed the field goal before halftime. Bend it, but don't break. And they allowed 10 points in the first half. They allowed 7 the rest of the game, including shutting Tennessee out in the fourth quarter. So, look, the defense, I think you still need to see more. And with Jermaine Johnson going down, that's devastating. But you got to give him credit for at least bouncing back, because early in this game, it looked like we were in for another 27, 30-plus point game against Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans, which would have been brutal. But you give them credit. You also got to give this coaching staff some credit, because obviously they made halftime adjustments to only let up 7 points in the rest of the game after half. So there is some credit to go around. And you got to start up front. Will McDonald, big day for him. Huge day for Will McDonald with 3 sacks. Huge day for Will McDonald, including the 1 big sack late in that game. Awesome day for him. And if Jermaine Johnson's out for the year, if that is the case, and that's confirmed tomorrow morning, Will McDonald's role for the New York Jets becomes so much bigger. And seeing him have a good day out there this afternoon, I think it's got to give you some hope and some confidence that, all right, maybe this guy can start to come into his own here as a legitimate threat off the edge for this Jets team, for this Jets defense. And then finished the day with 4 sacks. The other one came with Solomon Thomas, but Will McDonald, 3 sacks on the day. Huge numbers for him. Big time numbers. Big time. Great day for him. Could see the speed, getting to Levis, forcing pressure. That's what you want to see. And his role now gets bigger. And what's next now for Reddick? I know a lot of people want to talk about that. I think we've always said Reddick starts to gain some leverage if a key piece on the Jets defensive line gets a major injury. And unfortunately, that's what happens here. Now, I still don't think the Jets will. I don't know. At the rate we're going, I still don't think Reddick is like, I don't think Reddick's going to all of a sudden, the Jets are going to get something done tonight and Reddick's going to be here Thursday night. But it feels like now without Jermaine Johnson, you got to see how a couple games go without him. But the Jets are really thin there. I'm surprised. I'm still surprised that Leonard Taylor didn't play, or at least isn't activated as somebody in the interior. But without Jermaine, a guy like Eric Watts, who's been inactive, might have to step up. You're looking more at a bigger role for Brady McGregor. You're looking at a bigger role for Tack McKinley, Clemens. Everybody's got to step up now, including Will McDonald, who did today. And you know what? I've been down on Will McDonald. I'm not the biggest Will McDonald believer, I will admit. But you know what? Heck, he had 3 sacks today. He was freaking dominant today. He showed you something. And hopefully this continues. Hopefully he found something this afternoon, and maybe he can take over and really come to his own this year and take a year or two jump like Jermaine did last year. Because today was a great day for him. Solomon Thomas also out of the sack. Slow start, but strong finish for the defensive line, I thought, up front. Still not, quite getting enough pressure. There was a couple times where late in that game, Levis got out of one of the sacks, which was, I don't know how the heck he got out of it. Solomon Thomas had him wrapped up. He was done, and he came out of it. So that was difficult. There was some plays there where the Jets probably should have got the Levis, and he didn't. There was definitely some times where he had more time than he should have. There was definitely some times where Tony Pollard had some big runs, should have been brought down earlier. They still allowed 130 yards on the ground, right? Not good enough, obviously. 4.6 yards per carry. Still found themselves in a lot of third and short situations, but they did enough. They kind of played a bend but don't break defense today. When anytime it seemed like Tennessee in the second half was maybe gaining some momentum, the Jets found a way to stop them. The other injury was the C.J. Mosley toe injury. Saleh in his press conference said they hope he has him for Thursday. We'll probably know, of course, tomorrow. Not that Saleh, the injuries with Saleh, you really don't know. So you can't trust him because he said everybody will be healthy for this week and DJ Reed was out, which I watched his press conference. I don't believe anybody asked on DJ Reed how severe it was, if he will be out there Thursday, whatever. But in terms of stepping in for Mosley, I thought Jamie and Sherwood had a really good day today. Finished the day with 12 tackles. I thought he was flying around. Speed-wise, looked really good. Had a tackle for loss. Had the one pass break off the back of his helmet. So I thought he was really good today. And I will say that Sherwood overall, I mean, the very limited time Mosley has missed during his Jet tenure, I've always thought Sherwood, when he has stepped in for him, has always done a good job. Anytime that Mosley has missed time, I've always feel like Sherwood's been ready to roll, ready to step in. And that was the case today. Really good day for him. And also a very, very good day for Quincy Williams. A couple really big tackles, a couple really big hits. Really strong day for him. Despite no Mosley, I thought the linebackers played pretty well. One play, I think Quincy, you would like to get one back, was the play down the sideline, the reception on him. I forget who it was. I don't know if it was Boyd. I forget exactly who it was. Mosley or Quincy was there all over him, but it was on the third down, and then Chuck Clark came in and had the unnecessary roughness at the end of the play. Got the penalty at the end of the play for lowering his shoulder into his helmet. Forget exactly who it was on Tennessee, but one thing, I wish Quincy played the ball a little bit better. Had him stride for stride, had him in good coverage. All he had to do was turn his head a little bit, see where the ball was, and he could have broke it up. Didn't play the ball very well, but all in all, I thought Quincy today was good. I thought both Quincy and Sherwood were really good today. They were arguably, outside of Will McDonald, maybe the best guys in the Jets defense this afternoon. Eccles, of course, had the pick. That was good to see, stepping in for DJ Reed. The Calvin Ridley touchdown was nuts. I mean, I don't think they would do that. You couldn't score that if you tried that again. It seemed like, from my vantage point, and when I go back and watch the all 22 tomorrow morning and into tomorrow afternoon, I'll probably get a better view on it. But it seemed like, from what I saw, it looked like Chuck Clark was trying to play the ball, trying to dive and pick it off or break it up. And that's why it seemed like Sauce was kind of hesitant to go down essentially with Ridley and try and break it up. Like, Sauce saw Chuck Clark coming, thought he would break it up. And that's kind of why Sauce stayed standing up and didn't really make much of an attempt to get his hand in Ridley's face. So probably a play that Chuck Clark probably should make. I don't really know how he missed it. But either way, it was a crazy grab. Really should have been downed at like the 1 or 2 yard line. They said he rolled in. They never really reviewed it. So touchdown. of course, didn't end up mattering, but that was one of those where you kind of just got to tip your cap. It was just a perfectly placed ball. Ridley found it. Chuck Clark just missed. Sauce was kind of expecting Clark to make a play on it, and just a crazy play. I mean, not really something that you see every day. So other than that, I thought secondary wise they were okay, and they did enough obviously without DJ Reed. One guy we can't go the episode without talking about. I mean, Irv Charles legacy game today. 2 great plays as a gunner, 2 great tackles today as a gunner, and then blocked the punt, which Jets ended up getting a field goal off of. But I mean, that was what a day it was for him. Irv Charles, great day. Special teams ace was awesome today. The two great plays as a gunner, then the blocked punt. What a day it was for him. Team MVP today. I mean, really, that's how good Irv Charles was. That's how good special teams was today. Even Morstead today was really, really good. Jets special teams continues to come up big, continues to impress. So those were some highlights as well there from Irv Charles. Just some other numbers. Time of possession today was actually in the Jets' favor. Early on, it looked like we were in for another game of 2 minutes of Aaron Rodgers and 58 minutes of Will Levis, but that wasn't the case, and ended up, of course, changing. 30 minutes and 3 seconds for the New York Jets, 29 minutes and 57 seconds for the Titans. So possession-wise, a pretty balanced game. Tennessee kind of took over first half possession. Jets kind of took over second half. So pretty balanced numbers there. 5 of 12 on third down for the Jets. 5 of 12 on third down for Tennessee. Penalties, a little bit of a problem early on for the Jets. 7 penalties, 5 by Tennessee. Definitely a highly penalized game. 12 penalties total. I did think that the Jermaine Johnson passing or roughing the passer was bogus. I did not think that was roughing the passer. I think they thought his shoulder made contact with Will Levis's head, but his shoulder hit his shoulder. Like I didn't see the roughing the passer there. It was right when he delivered the ball. It wasn't a late hit. I thought that was a bogus call, but either way, again, Jets won. It doesn't matter, I guess, in the long run. You just got to hope that Jermaine Johnson's okay. I thought he looked good today. He had a couple nice plays. Had a couple plays where he was able to get to Levis, but that's pretty much it. Look, they won the turnover battle. Played turnover-free football. That's what you can ask for. And Rodgers continues to have these moments that he looks like vintage Rodgers as he continues to knock off some of the rust. I mean, those 2 drives today, those 2 amazing drives. The one to the 12-play, 73-yard drive that capped off with the touchdown to Braylon Allen. And then the game-winning drive, 7 plays, 74 yards in 4 minutes, capped off with a Braylon Allen touchdown run, were things of beauty, things that we have not seen in years, decades from this Jets offense. And can't forget about that beautiful throw to Breece Hall for a 26-yard dime to open up the half. So Jets win 24-17. Let's freaking go. 1-1 on the season. Short week, quick turnaround. Thursday night, Jets, Patriots. 2 teams 1-1. New England lost today to Seattle in overtime. So both teams coming into that one at 1-1. Thursday night football. I will be in the building. Can't wait. Home opener. One of my favorite games every year to attend. Atmosphere should be awesome. Gotta win. Clean some things up. Get out there and dominate New England on Thursday. We, of course, have a lot more content coming your way throughout the rest of the week, heading into Thursday Showdown. As always, until next time, JETS, Jets.